Hey Kevin and me, it's Kai here, and we wanted to thank you for your support of track Rekord. I have a video here that Steve gave to me, and we're going to do a little review of your lap at Apex. This video, this lap, is from our little event that we had last week. So what we typically do is we're going to play the whole video. I'm going to watch it. I've looked at it a few times ahead of time as well, and then we're going to go back and analyze your driving. We'll be using this little blue circle here to pause and look at your line and where you're braking and where your shift points are. And we're going to find you a few more seconds around Apex Motor Club here. So this is your lap 5, I believe. So we're going to go for a ride. Again, we're going to watch the full lap and then go back. We're going to rewind it and really climb into it. So here we go. Out of turn 11. And heading into turn 12 as we go past the start-finish line here at Apex. I can even see us all over there on the left side. Down into turn 1, which is a fun turn. I love this corner. It's blind, it's downhill, it's pretty quick. Down into turn 2 here. Just going to turn the volume down a little bit. Is that good? All right. All that American muscle unleashed as we head down into the bus stop chicane here at Apex. And with the two of us having spent time together, I remember we were looking for time here, talking about how fun the chicane is. Nicely done. Loving that part of the track. All the way down into turn 4. Nice late Apex. Be real patient and then make sure that you get a nice straight line exit. As we head down into turn 5 and the second longest straight at Apex, well, we're going to be well over 100 mile an hour here. I see 119 there down into turn 6. Down through 7. Here's turn 8 here. That's 10 and 11. Okay, I see a 155.10 there. Nice lap. There's a lot of things that I think are really good, and I see a few areas that we can work on so that we get you a few more seconds for that next trip when we go back together. So I'm going to rewind here all the way back to the beginning of your lap. Perfect. So this sets us up through turn 11. And we're going to start talking about what we're doing right about here. So I know the car in front of you here might have faded you out or kind of tricked you, because I even thought they were going through turn 12 here, but they actually went straight into pit lane. So, but to kick this lap off here, I remember at one point during the day we were trying to analyze and figure out what is the best way to effectively get through turn 12. At one point you're going through there the whole time in 4th gear, modulating the throttle back and forth. And we kind of played with that short shift into 5th gear to keep the car more planted and more manageable so that you can really focus solely on your line. It'll be a little less nervous, but still very effective and quick through there. So a lot of times with cars like this, it's worth sometimes an upshift just to get into a taller, more manageable gear. I think you're going through this corner in 4th gear right here. But the thing I'm looking at is where we're turning in. So this cone right here, as we head into turn 12, is where we need to be turning in. So if you can catch that out of the corner of your eye, that's where we're turning in. And then there's a set of curbs, blue and white, on the right side. We need to aim for that. So that's the first part of your 2 or double apex inside reference points for turn 12. So we're turning into cone, we're getting down to your apex here. And again, what we're really looking to do here, there's another cone, there's 2 orange cones, large cones on the outside. You've got your small one for your turn in, the first set of FIE curbing, the blue and whites on the inside, and then way around at the other side or the end of turn 12 is another set of curbing. What we're really needing to do is find one solid, smooth, committed turn in, and we want to hold the wheel in one place the whole way through there, where we're building up our speed as we accelerate through there. In between the first set of blue and whites and the second set of blue and whites is another curbing on the inside that they actually haven't painted for that reason. They don't want any cars near there because it just doesn't work. The line isn't what's needed through there. So there's your first one. There's your second one here. You're lining up with that, and now we're coming around to the second apex, the second part of turn 12. So my advice for that one when we get back through there is to, and we'll do it. Hopefully I'm there with you, we'll explore data. Is it more efficient to go through there in fourth gear, or is it better to just upshift into fifth? Just roll through there, just really, really work on momentum to where when we get here for turn 12, we're braking and downshifting into turn 4, which I remember we were working at doing at the end of the day. So big piece of advice there is really, really focus on holding the wheel in one place and just building momentum through there. So that's turn 12. To kickstart the lap here, this is turn 1. So where I typically brake is just before the apex logo that's painted across start finish there. We're going, you know, you're 87 miles an hour there. You'll find the more you get comfortable, the more you build your speed and you develop that line you're looking for through turn 12, that you'll be going through here at well over 100 miles an hour. We were looking at some data. It was in a Porsche the other day at 109 miles an hour. I've been through here at 113 miles an hour. So it's really, really quick. There's a lot of time to be had there. There's a lot of momentum that you've built up. And now we got to drag the brake and turn down into turn 1, which is downhill. You really can't see your apex right now. Your exit's way off down at the bottom there. Where we're looking to brake is right here at the start finish line, but your braking is a little lighter than you may think. I've seen a lot of drivers overslow this corner. You just want to drag the brake and turn in. There is a little cone on the right side there. If you can catch that out of the corner of your eye, that'll help. But the real key here is, where am I braking? Just before the start finish line, the apex logo across start finish there. You're dragging the brake. If you're in fifth, you're gonna downshift into fourth. Looks like we're already in fourth gear here. So you're just rolling your momentum. You're just carrying your momentum all the way down to your apex. And we're not picking up the throttle until we get down to these squares right here, or essentially this cone that's on the inside right here. So dragging the brake just before start finish, down to fourth if you're in fifth, but just carrying momentum, just rolling momentum all the way down to where you know you can't even get on the throttle until you get to your apex on the inside. And we're looking for an open radius here. Just feet on the throttle and go all the way out to the right side. A lot of drivers tend to exit and stay a car width or so away from the curbing on the right side. You want to use up the whole track. So go right to the outside of turn 1, and now we're setting up here for turn 2. See a nice downshift into third gear here. So it's a little hard to catch out of the corner here, but we definitely want to make sure that your right sides are rolling up over the paint on the inside there. Use the whole track. When you open the radius up here through any of these corners, you're just going to build your mile an hour and lower your lap time. So nice job, third gear corner. As we've discussed before, with a big heavy front engine V8 track car like this, they really like it when you trail brake, to where you just brake hard up front and we're carrying big brake pedal pressure down towards your apex as we're turning into the corner, but all it's doing is keeping a wider tire contact patch longer to help you turn through that corner efficiently, help you eliminate any understeers, so that you just get that front end working for you so that you can drive off the corner. So this is turn 2 right here. Okay, nice job through turn 2, nice job through turn 3. Use the whole track. Use a little bit of curbing at the apex, a little bit of curbing on the exits, sure, no problem. You're just opening up that wheel in your hands, you're gonna go quicker. I think your line and everything there looked really good. Your hands are at 9 and 3, you look calm and composed and ready to attack. So having watched your videos, there's a few things I noticed in your downshifting and your upshifting. If you listen to a lot of your upshift, it sounds as though your foot hasn't been completely released off of the gas pedal. You hear a little spike in RPM. That's something that I would want to focus on, is just a little smoother upshift, just to where you don't hear that last little engine spike as your foot is still trailing off the accelerator. So you want to kind of tighten that up a little bit. It'll help. I'm thinking of things like some of the long distance endurance races I've done, where you really want to be deliberate on your shifting, because you're trying to save fuel even and save the gearbox and all of this stuff. So this is me going down memory lane right here, but you'd want to just tighten up that shifting, that upshifting a little bit. And then on the downshifts, I have something for you when we get down into the chicane here. So you can hear it right there. When you upshifted, you're a little late off the gas and it's up into 5th. So you just want to smoothen that up a little bit. So we're in 5th gear and we're going pretty quick here. We're at 107 miles an hour, which is pretty awesome. So you'll note on your left side, there's braking boards. As to where you want to brake, let's have a look here. See the brakes coming on. Looks like you're braking right around the 4, maybe just past the 4 a little bit. The real key here to getting through this chicane, this bus stop here effectively, is to know where to brake and to keep as much momentum as you can through it, to use the curbs. All of these things combined equal a good exit when you come out of it and head down into turn 4 at the other side. So in your braking, you want to be hard on the braking. Boom, real hard initial brake pedal application up front. And then as you start bleeding speed out of the car and as you're turning in to the corner down towards your apex there, that's where the brake pedal is starting to come up. But you're still carrying brake pedal pressure down towards your apex to keep that tire contact patch as wide as you possibly can, so that you can really turn with some aggression and some confidence. So with your heel and toe downshifting, there was a few, I didn't really hear it that time, but there was a few different corners that I had noticed that the downshift was a little too early. And in one of the videos I noticed, and I think it was tied to a downshift, where it kind of essentially slowed the rear end down too much. We call that an axle hop, where you just shifted into a lower gear too early and it kind of chattered the rear end and helped you maybe rotate a little bit and run wide. So the real key here on the brakes, hold on to that brake for a little longer and then do your downshift with your heel and toe. So you go down 5th, down to 4th, down to 3rd. Your downshifts, I think, need to be just a little bit later. So just stay a little bit more patient, stay in the brake pedal longer, and then do your downshift so that it's not as hairy when you come off the clutch. You've met the speed at which everything needs to gel. You're up on the curbing on the right side. I think this is really good. So you can hear the throttle coming on here a little bit. All this is really telling me is that I think you can brake a little bit later, to where you're not really on the throttle until you're further out here a little bit. You know, any time that you find that you're on the throttle before that first set of curbing into the bus stop or closer to the second set, it's just telling us that there's a little bit of room left on the table there. So that's something I would work on next time, is just moving that braking down a little bit, and that'll help a ton. As far as your line through here, everything's looking pretty good to me. There is a cone off to the right side that a lot of drivers kind of aim towards. What I find helps is to stay about a half a car width to a car width away from it to the left. It just helps line up the exit for the chicane here. If you're all the way over to the right, the trajectory or the line of sight you're giving yourself feels to me that it's all the way over here. But if you kind of cheat it over a little bit, you can get a head start on your exit. So you should be in 3rd gear here. So The two curbs on the second part of the chicane, I noticed you hit the first one, I'd be all over the second one as well, right? So all that is doing is opening up radiuses, kind of like if I rolled up a string and balled it up on the table here, kept it really tight. If I pulled on both ends and just opened up that string, it just opens up all those arcs and radiuses. There's a lot of time to be had in the chicane here by using a little more curbing. But your exit here looks good. You're up into third gear. I saw your hand kind of go for it. You were going to pull fourth there. But yeah, we're pretty high in the RPM up into third gear. We're braking at the number 2. So nice turn in here. I think the line's perfect. Nice late apex. You're in third gear and you're opening that wheel up as the car goes all the way out and tracks out to the curbing on the left. So this is your third gear exit coming out of turn 4, which I think is fine. There it is again. You can hear we're a little late coming off the throttle just with that unnecessary spike in engine RPM. So hopefully as you're taking notes here, you can see what we're getting at. So we're in fourth gear, heading through turn 5. Okay, so as for where we're braking there, I think the number 2 is good if you can go for that. They've done a good job in putting cones out there. That's a really solid number to aim for. And then just past that, there's a big orange cone. That's a good reference point to shoot for as we turn in. Can't really see it here, but as I look at this line, the one little bit of advice I have, or what I'm thinking here, is that you might have turned in just a little bit too early. And anytime you turn in early in a car, you can kind of back up that thought process when you look at the exit, because your exit, you're just on the throttle a little later than you otherwise should be. So as you listen here, I think we'll figure it out. So about 3 or 4 car lengths past the apex is where you came onto the throttle. If you can just turn in just a little later, just be a little more disciplined about that. When you get down to your apex, you can get on the throttle with more aggression and more confidence, and know that you'll just be able to run all the way out to the right side. And here, you want to get up all the way out to the curbing. I try to make it a part of my repertoire to just feel that little boop where I'm up on the right side there. I just know I've used as much of the track as I possibly can. So now we're heading into turn 7. In fourth gear. Actually, that looked like second. We rewind it here a little bit. The biggest thing here okay, a little bit of a later turn in for turn 6. I think you might have gone from fourth all the way over and down into second here. That's my guess. I'm watching your hands. But the thing is, your line. Biggest piece of advice I have for you in looking for reference points here, and I'd say you're pretty close to it. There are some big old skid marks right where your aim solo is here that have been left by some globally recognized Formula 3 drivers that I think have just drawn the really, really good reference points. The big skid marks you see are the left sides of these F3 cars because they're braking and the left sides are getting light, so they're locking up and drawing these big old black lines. If you can line your left front right up with those, there's a few of them that are probably spread 3 or 4 feet apart. Just get your left sides right in that general area, and that will help. I've seen drivers way too wide. I think where you are is pretty close to where you need to be, but if you're looking for reference points, that helps. I know some drivers are looking at these trees and everything over there. I try to just catch out of the corner of my eye those skid marks. So that right there, with the downshift again, feels like a little bit too low of a gear. It's something that, given the next opportunity we have to get together, I'd actually want to ride with you to see what's going on here. So we're ripping out of turn 7 here. I'm trying to just see where your line is, and I think it's actually pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I did catch what you did. You got down into turn 7, and it looks like you went from 4th straight over to 2nd. Let me think about this one. What I would encourage you doing is you're in 4th gear, try turn 7 in 3rd. Or go down to 3rd and then do another heel and toe rev match down into 2nd. That's, you know, as I'd mentioned, I'd like to ride with you next time or drive your car so that I can get a feel for what it needs through there. But 7, you're in 2nd, you're in 2nd and 8, and now we're coming up through the 8, 9, 10 complex. You're in 3rd gear right now. Beautiful. Line through there, I'm giving you an A+. The gear selection through there, I'm giving you an A+. I did catch one of your laps where you tried 2nd gear through there. That's way too quick of a corner for 2nd gear. So all of this is good. As you drop down into turn 11 here, I would imagine now you're going to go for 2nd. Maybe not. So that time you did it in 3rd. I'd seen you do it in 2nd. I think 3rd gear there actually worked really well. So I would give you an A+ on that as well. So now we're coming up to turn 12. There's another look at where you turn in here. So I'm going to rewind it. Actually going to go back a little further here. Right to about here. This is into the chicane, a little further. Third gear through here, 3rd, 3rd, 3rd. 2nd might work. I'd play with that the next time we go back. So here's turn 12. We're turning in at the cone. At a corner of your eye, you're picking up one set of curbing. First orange cone, staying wide. 2nd orange cone. There's the inside. There you go, 97 miles an hour that time. Nicely done. So that's the thing, going back to the beginning of the lap, just one wheel input the whole way through there for turn 12. We're going to work on our upshifts a little bit. We're going to work on staying on the brake pedal a little bit longer and be a bit more patient about when to decide to downshift. I'd row all the way down the gearbox. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. More curbing in the chicane. I think you did a great job. 155 is actually a really solid lap around here to begin with, and I know it's on your 2nd or 3rd visit, so I'd give you an A+, for effort on that one as well. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully we've both got helmets on sooner rather than later, and we can get back at it and find you more lap time. Thank you very much. Say hi to Mia. I appreciate all that you do for Track Record.